Hey everybody, welcome back to Laptop Seniors. Today, as retirement channel, we're going to delve into saving money and also saving time. Even though when you're retired, you have a lot of time on your hands. I'm going to show you an easy way to get a huge amount of airline points, airline miles, so that you can fly free pretty much anywhere on the planet. And usually that takes a lot of work to actually get, even though you have the points, maybe you've earned them and now you're trying to use them. I'm going to show you how to solve both those problems if you don't have any points and you don't know how to do it. We're going to do that with a new add-on for Google Flights. Now, most of you probably have used Google Flights. And if you have not used Google Flights, it's free. You're really missing out because it makes things so much easier and you find cheaper flights. It's just that simple. It might be way cheaper to go on a Wednesday in a particular week than it is on any of the other days. And I'll show you that because we're going to go through that app and I'm going to show you exactly how the new app works, PointsPath, which adds points into the whole surge. And if you've never used Google Flights, you'll get to see how that works too. So you get like two-shot, you get both of them at once. First thing is like, well, how do you actually get points for free? I mean, that sounds ridiculous. How can you do that? Well, they're not exactly free. Bear with me. A lot of times you have to pay a fee of $95 or $89, something under $100, or in a lot of instances, the first year is totally free. So you could have use it for 1 year and you pay nothing at all. And then in year two, the fee kicks in. Along with that, almost all the ways to actually earn these points is you need to spend money on a credit card because that's what's involved here. You apply for a credit card, particular ones that are associated with airlines. You spend a certain amount of money in a certain amount of period of time. You pay the yearly fee and boom, here's all these miles, okay? And a lot of times those miles will add up to like 3 flights from like, say, Chicago to Miami. You can do 3 round trips. You could go to Europe once or twice. Maybe you can pull one off in business class, depending on the time of the year, the flight, and all that sort of stuff. Again, that's where it gets complicated. In a nutshell, it's usually this. You pay a $95 fee for the card each year. They give you a huge amount of points. You have to spend somewhere around $3,000 or $4,000 in the first 3 months. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Again, I'll go through the specifics. Now, you go like, well, okay, that's a pretty good spend, $3,000. When I go to Costco, I'm doing like $200, $300 there, but I don't go like every day to burn that money, that much money off in a 3-month period. What I did was like, we have these credit cards and we don't get anything out of them. We just keep spending money on them. We get nothing. So I'm just going to turn them over. She's going to turn over hers. I'm going to turn over mine, and I'm going to go through these other cards. And off the top of my head, we were thinking, wow, I can pull like 200,000 airline points, which is a lot of flights to a lot of places, okay? And that's one of the joys of being in retirement, being able to fly somewhere, right? Okay, so how do you do 3,000, $3,000 in 3 months? Well, just look ahead. Like, I looked and go like, hey, you know what? We have property tax coming up and it's like $3,500 for a condo. Okay, well, boom, there's one card down. Boom. Paid for. You may actually pay your taxes. Sometimes, a lot of times somebody will be doing the taxes and they don't quite take out enough and you have to kind of bulk it up for like $2,000 or $3,000 or maybe more. Just put it on your credit card. Plan when you're going to apply for the card a little bit before big payments that you're going to have to do. Like if you're going to have to make a big payment for, car insurance in November, you apply for the card in October. That kind of thing. You get the card, then you rack off the charge, you're done. Go flying. But you're saying, wait a minute, this seems too good to be true. So let me go through just a few of them with you, just as examples. I mean, there's lots of airlines and credit cards that do this all over the world. This is probably, 1/10 of them, but they're ones that you might be able to use. British Airways, 85,000 points, spend $95. Delta, 80,000 points. It's $150, but the first year is free. After that, it's $150 a year. Air France, KLM, 50,000 points, $89. American Airlines, and you're in the One World Alliance, 75,000 points, $99, but the first year is free. So really, it's like $50 for the first 2 years each year. Iberia Airways, 85,000 points, $95. United Airlines, and you're in Star Alliance, 50,000 points, $95, the first year is free, so again, roughly $50. Aer Lingus, which is the Irish carrier, 85,000 points, $95 a year for the card. And finally, Air Canada, you get 100,000 points. Card is $95 a year, but realistically, when you look at this, it's really 75,000 easy points. You get that at first, and then you get another 25,000 if you spend $20,000 on the card over the first 12 months. That's a lot. I don't know how many people are doing that. But also, it's a Star Alliance carrier, so the points are usable on a lot of different airlines, all the Star Alliance carriers, which is a lot. I think that's the biggest alliance of airlines in the world. So you get a lot of choice there. So that's the preamble to all of this. Now we're going to go over to the computer and I'm going to take you through what actual Google Flights and PointsPath actually does and what it looks like. The name of the app is called PointsPath, and this is the website, pointspath.com, and it's free. So although there might be a paid section of this, but basically to do what I'm about to show you is totally free. We get nothing out of this. I mean, I don't know how we could. It's free. But this it sort of explains what it does. Here's how you download the extension. You could join a founders club. Whatever that is. I actually haven't, maybe we'll go through it together. I'll come back to that maybe. And install it, and what it does is it runs on Google Flights. So if you normally go to Google Flights to check out how flights are, and if you haven't, I'll show you that too, give you an idea of what it does. It's great. It doesn't really show you so much the cheap flights, although it will show you the cheapest flight, because sometimes they're really weird airlines or airlines you wouldn't want to fly on. But what it does do, it does definitely show you're better off flying like on this day versus another day. So that helps a lot. So anyway, let me just scroll down the page just a little bit just to give you an idea. Again, pointspath.com. And they allow you to book just like Google Flights. Essentially, this is Google Flights with a little bit of an add-on, which is what this is, an add-on. And you can try it for free and all that sort of stuff. Well, here, let me just see if there actually is a paid part of this. It looks like no. They don't have a Safari version, if you have a Mac, but they say they're working on it. So, that's a good thing. That's nice. So let's go back and we'll take you through it. Now, what do you do? Let me go back to the top. Well, what you do is, we were going to take a check and see what this is. What is the Founders Club? Okay, one-time payment, $15 for the rest of 2024. Well, it's October now. You don't get a lot out of that. And you get a 15% Delta discount. You get Lufthansa first class availability. Okay, you don't really get a whole lot out of that. $15 for a couple months, and not really worth it to me. Anyway, so let's go back to do this, and then so what you do, you hit this and you download the extension. For me, because I have a Macintosh, this is what I'm running right now, and I'm doing this in Safari. I can only really go this far. So what I did is I moved over to Chrome because I also have a Chrome browser. So I shut this one, the Safari went down, and I installed Chrome, and then I hit this button right here and it installed it into Chrome. So I'm going to flip over right now and move to the Chrome browser, and I'm going to run you through what the program actually does. Okay, let's start from scratch. We're assuming it's all installed and now it's in. So what you would do is you do Google Flights, google.com/flights. It looks exactly the same as it normally would. Okay, great. It's giving you an alert. All searches are fully operating. PointsPath service. So this is telling you that that add-on we just put in is running. Okay, so let's just start making believe we're going somewhere. So let's just say we're going to how about Miami? Miami. Be good to spell it right. All right, Miami, Florida, and let's make it one way. A lot of times points works better on one way thing, and we're looking at economy. So and you're going to have to pick a date to go. This is what Google Flights normally looks like. As I was explaining, lowest flight 245 on a Thursday, but Friday 174, Saturday 174. And what's the low? Well, here's a low one, 114. Let's take that. So 114 on October 22nd, if you wanted to go then. And then we'll do this again and pick a higher thing, just so you know I'm not just doing this on purpose. So you'd hit done. Now this thing is then going to go searching when you hit search. Here it is. This is US dollars. So the cheapest airline, $84, is Flair Airlines. So, this is not really going to be 84, because if you want a bag, they're going to charge you for that. They're going to charge you for the seat. They're going to charge you for everything. Although, Vivi's flied this a few times to Orlando, and it's a decent airline. It's fine. WestJet is totally fine. WestJet Delta. and Air Canada could not load the data. Interesting. Now let's go down farther and see if we have data. Yes, for this Delta flight, these Delta flights, it's 7,000 points, Delta points, and $65. Or you could pay 141 US. 7,000, 7,000, 7,000, $65. If you want to go on Air Canada at 9:10 a.m., obviously there's more demand here, less, points seats, less air mile seats. It's 24,000 miles plus $85. And it's $350. So it costs more in cash and it costs more in points. And that's basically how this thing works. How about Dallas? All right, so let's go to Dallas and see what that does. Again, same thing, Discount Airline, Frontier, and Sprint, and they don't have any points programs that are covered by this. This particular points path thing, it has most of the majors, but it doesn't have all of them. So some airlines are missing, and they say they're working on it. 8,500 points, $6. Delta. American Airlines, what actually probably would be Alaskan Airlines you're going to be booking, but it's American Airlines points, $7,500 and $18. So a little bit more cash, less points. Wow, it's interesting to actually see it this way. Southwest, nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. American Airlines, if you want to go at 6 a.m., $7,500, $18. Also at roughly 6 a.m., $8,500 and $6 on Delta. Again, a little bit more cash versus less cash and a little bit less points. Price is the same, $110. So this is basically how it works. It's no more complicated than that. A couple last things that I didn't really add into this that I should. One, when you have a credit card that's associated with one of these airlines, almost always you get free bags. You don't have to pay for the baggage fee, okay? So if you're taking a suitcase where normally you got to pay $30 or $40 for a flight, and that's going 30 and then coming back 30. Everybody in your party, no matter how many it is, you could have 20 people in your party if you charge all 20 tickets on one of those airline cards, of course, and you're on that airline. Let's say it's an Air Canada card, okay? You plunk the Air Canada credit card down for Air Canada flights, 20 people are flying, that's 40 bags, 20 going out, 20 coming back at probably $30, $40 a clip that are free for just $95 for the credit card. I mean, that alone is pretty cool. And along with this, you get travel insurance for, doing a rental car and a bunch of other things. A lot of times for some of the cards and the airlines, when you go up to the gate, you get to go on the plane first, you get priority check-in, and a bunch of different things like that. So, they're really good. If you fly, they're really a pretty good thing to have. There's a lot of YouTube videos that go into this in super detail, way better than I could ever do this. Check them out if you're interested in it. Anyway, hope this helped. Hope you got something out of it. And thank you very much for watching. As always, till the next video, see ya.